On Authentic Ag, we talk with the Kansas State Director of the Farm Service Agency, David Schemm. We'll talk market facilitation payments in that program, as well as the upcoming sign-up for the new Farm Bill. We'll also have features from Kansas corn, Kansas wheat, as well as a weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association Little Markets and Paragon AG Advisors. I'm Ken Rogers. This is Authentic Ag. Brought to you in part by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Kansas Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farm and ranch families since 1919, kfb.org. And the Kansas Wheat Commission, lending in the adoption of profitable innovations from wheat, online at kswheat.com.
I'm Derek Sawyer, and I'm a fourth-generation Kansas farmer. I've known all my life I wanted to farm this land near McPherson, which was my grandfather's before me.
I'm Katie Sawyer, a journalist who never dreamed I'd live my life on the farm until I met Derek.
We've married our worlds to help educate consumers about the rural lifestyle and all that farmers do to provide safe and affordable food.
Watch our story and the stories of other young Kansas food producers at kansaslivingmagazine.com/meetafarmer.
Brought to you in part by the Kansas Livestock Association, supporting members' business interests and meeting consumer demands. KLA.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. And Kansas Corn, building the future at kansascorn.com. In agriculture news from agview.net, U.S. farmers are taking the brunt of retaliatory tariffs, according to a recent report from CoBank. That report confirms what the industry has been pointing out over the course of the trade war, that China is targeting U.S. farm products in retaliation. In an analysis of 11 U.S. ag commodities representing a cross-section of ag exports, U.S. producers, not the importing countries or its consumers, paid much of the cost of the tariffs in all but two cases. CoBank says the impact of retaliatory tariffs placed on those U.S. farm products reflects the lopsided balance of power between U.S. producers and their importing customers. The nature of agricultural products, inventories with long shelf life, and ease of identifying and sourcing suitable substitutes are among the factors that give importing customers the upper hand. The report says that the prospect of declining bargaining power, U.S. producers of most ag commodities are going to face pressure to absorb more of the costs of retaliatory tariffs in the future. The Kansas Soybean Commission elected its 2019-20 officers. Bob Hazelwood, Shawnee County, will now serve as chairman. He returns to that position he held in 2009 to 2012. Ron Oldie of Washington County, vice chair. Gary Robbins of Potawatomi County, elected secretary, and Raylan Phelan of Osage County, the treasurer. Other commissioners, Kurt Marth of Logan County, he just completed 3 years as chairman. Also, Kent Romine of Barton County, Dennis Gruenbacher of Sedgwick County, Mike Beller of Elk County, and Lance Rezak, Potawatomi County. And Ag Secretary Sonny Perdue has appointed a couple of Kansans to the United Sorghum Checkoff Program Board of Directors, Jeff Zortman from Fowler and Kendall Hodgson from Little River. These guys will serve 3-year terms. And a salute to our good friend and longtime farm broadcaster, Kelly Lenz, who recently retired after 41 years on radio and television in Topeka and around the state. It was a pleasure to work with him and learn from him for a couple of years, nearly 20 years ago. We wish Kelly and his wife Mary all the best. We'll have more coming up. Brought to you in part by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. And agview.net, serving the Beef Belt and Western Corn Belt with reliable and relevant agriculture information. agview.net.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about umbrella coverage. Did you know that if your cattle get out, you could be held liable for that? Call me. Let's have a discussion. 316-945-6733.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but yet we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we're glad to answer it and work with you.
And joining us now is David Schemm, who is the State Director of the Farm Service Agency. David, always good to catch up with you. In fact, we're outside of Wichita with a group of farmers, and so what better to kind of give us an update on two very important things. In this segment, we're going to focus on the market facilitation payments and that program, kind of round two. I won't say got off to a rocky start, but sign up. Everybody wanted to get taken care of, so I guess those updates have now been made, and so people have now some time to get into your local office, and it's different than the last one.
Yeah, and like you said, it's been challenging. One of the challenges we think we have dealt with it is, like you said, it's kind of round two. But even though it is the market facilitation program round two, it is from our standpoint, a lot of ways a totally different program, with the first one being based upon production, this one being based upon planted acres. So there has definitely been a learning curve for all of us, getting the software out there, getting those updates needed into the software to be able to address the various situations that producers are facing out there. From just kind of an overview, Ken, it's pretty straightforward. If a producer comes in, and, he reports his planted acres there, he's reported his planted acres already on his 578s there, and the software comes in there and looks at those reported acres, and when those 19 planted acres, are less than 2018 planted acres, then it's a pretty smooth process. He signs up, he knows the acres, and we pay them based upon those acres there. In the situation where it gets a little bit more interesting is that when or if his 19 acres exceed his 18 acres, then we have to go back in and look at 18 to see if there are some additional acres there that will allow him to get paid upon all of his 19 planted acres.
Yeah, that seems to be a couple of the confusing points. Can't be any more than 18. There's also been some commodity specific. There's been some questions. I think those are worked out. Hay and sorghum probably were a couple that there was maybe some confusion, but I think those have been worked out, correct?
Yep, we've had several updates coming along here on the 19th, and then here on the 29th here we've had these updates coming into the software that allows the offices to better work with those things there. Producers, though, by all means, come in, sign up on those acres, or sign up for the program there. Again, the program opens or is open through December 6th. So we want to make sure they get in there, and then when they sign up and report those acres there, then that software, with those updates will help to better calculate that and make sure that we get them paid on the right acres.
So once you're in, but really in order that first payment should come, we're expecting October, is that correct? Or do we know yet?
Well, the first MFP payment here should actually be coming out or be out here end of August. Again, maybe for 1st of September. Again, we have to process and approve those applications through county committees, so those get approved there. So that's the first round, which will be 50%.
Right. So again, December 6th is to get it in, and Don't worry about scale tickets. This is on production. This is just on planting.
The planted acres, make sure you report them by December 6th.
Okay. David Schemm is the State Director for the Farm Service Agency. We're going to take a break and be back with more, and we'll talk Farm Bill in just a moment.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Agriculture information on your computer or mobile device. News and views on grains, livestock, policy, and opinions from newsmakers can be found by liking AgView on Facebook, and on Twitter, follow AgView News, a reliable and relevant source, agview.net. And our special guest this week is David Schemm, who is the State Director of the Farm Service Agency. And David, the other big thing is it's been overshadowed by everything else. We have a new Farm Bill. And so even though it's been passed months ago, sign up is now upon us.
Sign up is upon us for the ARC and PLC programs there. We have been already implementing components of the 2018 Farm Bill with higher loan limits. We implemented earlier this year in March. We got those in place and going. The dairy and the livestock disaster programs associated with the 2018 Farm Bill, we've gotten implemented earlier this year. But yeah, here September 3rd is sign up for our ARC and PLC. Again, with the caveats of the new Farm Bill, they'll be able to re-elect which programs they want to participate in, whether it is ARC or whether it's PLC. They'll be signed up for a period of 2 years, and then after that be able to sign up to new programs there. So we've gotten our offices trained there. We've had some training statewide for all of our offices here, just previously the last of August here. So offices should be ready for producers to come in and start getting signed up.
Again, one of the biggest changes is, instead of like the last Farm Bill where you were locked in, this first sign up 2 years, then you can come back in then, and if you do want to change, and if USDA changes some things, like they would never do that, but kind of see how it plays on your operation, which is something that farmers really wanted, a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, they'll be able to opt for that new program, like I said, for a period of 2 years. We're actually working in conjunction with K-State Research and Extension and having informational meetings across the state here. We've been having them and going to have them through the first part of September as well here. So I definitely would encourage people to make sure you get out there, get the information that you want, those producers to be able to make sure that they are opt into the program that they want to participate in.
So again, the time is now. Call the county office and get at least on the list to sign up, go through the process, and really they can go. There's a lot of tools online, David, that they can find to maybe do some worksheets so they know exactly where they want, what they want, correct?
Yep, there are tools out there. K-State's Ag Manager has tools out there. There's several other tools out there by universities, so definitely encourage producers, get out there, look at those tools, do those things, those background information, so when they do come in, they can know how they want to sign up and get signed up.
All right, so you have, those are probably the two biggest things, also dairy, that dairy sign up, and that's a new program as well. Most of our folks here in Kansas, we're very aware of that and keep moving forward. And that's a big part of our economy of the state. Sometimes we don't talk about, we talk about a lot of other things, but very important.
A lot of things going on, exactly right, Ken. We've got the dairy margin coverage sign up going on, as well as the MFP, now ARC PLC. We've also had continuous CRP sign up going on, closing out. We're expecting here in early December to open up a general CRP sign up program, and then also a disaster program, WIP Plus or WIP 2 that we'll be working with.
Wow. All right. Well, David, again, appreciate the update for everything, and we'll, I'm sure, talk to you as we learn more, so thanks.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ken.
David Schemm, the Executive Director of the Farm Service Agency here in the state of Kansas, has joined us. Stay with us. More coming up.
I'm Scott Thellman, and this is Juniper Hill Farms. Even though my parents weren't farmers, they bought this beautiful farm north of Lawrence in 1999. In 2010, I started growing vegetables on this land. Today, Juniper Hill Farms sells produce to wholesalers, grocers, and restaurants. and is focused on growing high-quality food that everyone can afford. Watch my story and the stories of other young Kansas food producers at kansaslivingmagazine.com/meetafarmer.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about employee safety and work comp coverage. On your farm, do you ask your friends to come help? Are they considered employees or neighbors helping neighbors? Did you know that you can be held responsible just as if it's a work comp accident? Give me a call. We can discuss. 316-945-6733.
Today, happy to be here on the Gutterman Family Farms as part of a Soil Health Partnership Field Day here. The Soil Health Partnership is something Kansas Corn is really proud to be able to support monetarily through checkoff funds paid from our producers out there. And the goal really is to showcase a lot of the great work that Kansas farmers, especially really progressive farmers such as the Guttermans, are doing as far as conservation practices on their farm to improve the quality of their lands and that. And it's just it's really neat for them to showcase some of the advancements they have here in the eastern part of the state with a pretty solid corn soybean rotation. There've been no-till farmers haven't been tilling the soil for over 20 years, and they've since integrated a cover crop system, so there's crops growing on the land as long as the entire growing season's going forward. We also have sites in the central and even kind of towards the western part of the state where we're looking at different farming practices there, especially producers that might have wheat in their rotation, looking at corn, wheat, grain, sorghum, and soybean rotations in different orders through there. So it's a great partnership that's funded through the checkoff program. And then also through this Kansas Corn, we're proud through our association side, the Kansas Corn Growers Association. We host district listening tours in all the 9 Kansas crop reporting districts, and that's going to be a chance for producers to get together, and we're going to talk about what is we're working on in the policy world in terms of ethanol, livestock, trade, research, market development, new uses, and really give a chance for people to give their feedback about how we should be advocating better from their behalf.
What if sustainability were synonymous with U.S. soy? If energy efficiency, water quality, and soil health help define U.S. soy's value, that future is here, the time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is committing to sustainability that's achievable, worthwhile, and enduring. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers, farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Kansas Wheat will once again host a special tribute to the wheat industry in the Pride of Kansas building during the entirety of the Kansas State Fair. This year we will be celebrating the National Festival of Breads, which is sponsored by the Kansas Wheat Commission, King Arthur Flour, and Red Star Yeast. The Kansas Wheat booth will celebrate the success of the June 2019 event, which included a Kansas farm tour for the 8 contest finalists from all over the nation, baking workshops and demonstrations, bread sculpture displays, and much more. More than 3,500 people from at least 29 states and 5 countries attended the event that showcases Kansas wheat and the farmers that produce it. The 2019 Kansas Wheat Recipe Book is hot off the presses, making its debut at the State Fair booth. The annual recipe book, a staple in kitchens statewide, features finalist recipes developed by bakers across the country. The recipes have been thoroughly tested and perfected and include the 2019 National Festival of Breads champions, Mary Graham's Blackberry Ginger Speculoos Danish Wreath and Rochelle Hubsmith's Chai Ube Rosette Rolls. Other exhibits around the fair include the Wheat Market Show, 4-H Wheat Variety Plot Display Awards, Kansas Wheat Photography Contest, and the Kansas Wheat Bread Sculpture Contest. Kansas Wheat representatives will man the AgriLand exhibit on Saturday, September 14th. Fairgoers will have the chance to ride in a virtual combine, sift grain between their fingers, milk Blossom, the mechanical dairy cow, learn about livestock feed rations, and walk through the soil tunnel trailer for an under-the-scenes look at Kansas soils. To learn more about the Kansas State Fair, which runs September 6th through the 15th, head to kansasstatefair.com.
Agriculture information on your computer or mobile device, news and views on grains, livestock policy, and opinions from newsmakers can be found by liking AgView on Facebook, and on Twitter, follow AgView News, a reliable and relevant source, agview.net.
Hello, I'm Dr. Frank Lyons from Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center here in Manhattan, Kansas. Daryl was one of our patients that we did about 7 months ago.
I dug trees by hand for years and years and years. In the process, I wore out my rotator cuff. But when I learned about this process, I thought if there's a way to get rid of this pain, then I want to do it. So we did it, and it worked. And I'm not going to go out and dig trees with a shovel anymore, but I can do the things that I want to do now.
Well, it's been very gratifying to help people with their painful joints and other entities, and it's been especially gratifying to be able to help people who I know and have worked with and known for many years.
Several beef packing companies will require beef quality assurance transportation training of all drivers delivering cattle to their processing facilities by January 1st of 2020. Checkoff developed online training for beef quality assurance transportation is offered in 2 different modules, one for the farmer rancher and one for professional drivers. The Farmer Rancher module focuses on the use of stock trailers and smaller loads of cattle that beef and dairy cattle producers typically might haul themselves. The Professional module focuses on the use of tractor trailers and larger loads hauled longer distances. The modules cover topics such as proper cattle handling, suggestions for loading and unloading, factors to consider in hot and cold weather, trip planning, driver safety, and emergency action plans. Transportation quality assurance plays a critical role in the health and welfare of cattle. Proper handling and transport of cattle can reduce sickness, prevent bruises, and improve meat quality. When better quality beef reaches the supermarket, consumers are more confident in the beef they are buying, and this increases beef consumption. In addition, producers who have become BQA certified report the principles help capture more value for their cattle. Producers or professional drivers who would like to learn more or become beef quality assurance transportation certified can go to bqa.org.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Imagine turning soybean oil, used cooking oils, and waste animal fats into fuel so amazing it drives U.S. jobs and our economy forward. Learn more about biodiesel at americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Good morning. Mitch Dewar here with Paragon Ag Advisors. It has been a wild and interesting ride for the ag sector this summer. We started off with poor weather conditions that led to late planting, driving the corn market to 5-year highs with hopes of more. After June's USDA planted acreage report, the market was shocked. This was the first time the market questioned if maybe more acres were planted than originally thought. The market recovered from those losses but started to trade lower the end of July heading into USDA's August report, which also contained the resurvey information for the planted acres. Many people were surprised once again with the USDA results, and the market fell roughly 50 cents in 3 days and is currently trading near session lows. After huge losses these past couple months in both grain and livestock markets, producers are asking themselves if they are going to be profitable this year. With the delayed maturity of this year's crop, potential production still carries a degree of unknown. What we do know is that corn is over $1 under the summer high. Some producers were able to take advantage of this summer rally through a combination of marketing tools and the appropriate mindset. However, several producers missed out on this summer rally. There are legitimate reasons that led to these decisions in every case, but it does not change the results. If you'd like to change your marketing results, you'll need to examine the why of the decisions made, and Paragon can help with that. Give us a call here at 888-452-8751. I'm Mitch Dewar with Paragon Ag Advisors, and have a great rest of your day.
Well, thank you for joining us for Authentic Ag. If you have questions or comments, email me, kenrogers@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you next time on Authentic Ag.
Many seed companies claim to offer the latest genetics, but how many have tested those genetics in soils just like yours? The Oldie Seed Know to Grow research program has fully tested the latest seed genetics in soils that are right in your neighborhood. The Oldie Seed Know to Grow program can recommend the best performing hybrids from technologies like Enlist, Extend, and Liberty Link that will optimize the yield and profit of every acre on your farm. Contact Oldie Seed today.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Earlier in my life, I rode bucking horses and rodeos, and my shoulders took such a beating, and that was probably the reason for having several previous surgeries on both shoulders. About a year ago, I decided that I didn't want to have another surgery. And so I contacted Kansas Regenerative Medicine, took their treatment process. It was relatively pain-free. Now, after 8 months, my shoulders have healed to the point where I think I'm probably 90 to 95% of normal. It takes a couple of months to start to see results and feel real progress. That continued to increase gradually until now at approximately 8 months. And I'm extremely pleased. I've got full range of motion. I can lift weights, I can throw, I can do a lot of things that I couldn't do without a lot of pain previously. So I'm tickled to death with the results, and I'd recommend this process to anyone.